You've got big dreams, a vision for your life that fuels your imagination, success, freedom, purpose. Maybe you want to build something of your own, change the world, or simply live a life that feels meaningful. Deep down, you know you're capable of more. You can feel it, but no matter how big your dreams are, something keeps getting in the way. You don't act on them. You procrastinate. You put things off, not because you're lazy, but because you're overwhelmed. You know exactly what you should be doing. The goals are clear. The steps may even be mapped out. But when it's time to take action, resistance shows up. You feel paralyzed. You promise yourself you'll start tomorrow. But tomorrow turns into next week and next week into next month. Slowly, silently, your guilt grows. It builds over time, filling the gap between your potential and your reality. And eventually that guilt becomes something worse: resignation. You begin to accept that this is just who you are, someone who doesn't follow through. When the new year rolls around, you make the same promises. New goals, same dreams, this time with more motivation and a fresh planner. You start strong, but as the days pass, that initial energy fades and you fall right back into the same cycle. Motivation disappears. Distraction takes over. You turn to social media, YouTube, Netflix, anything to escape that uncomfortable feeling of not starting. And over time, you label yourself, I guess I'm just lazy. But here's the truth. You're not lazy. You're stuck. And what's really holding you back isn't a lack of motivation or discipline. It's inertia. In physics, inertia is the tendency of an object to remain in its current state, whether it's moving or at rest, unless acted upon by an external force. That same principle applies to human behavior. If you're still, you'll stay still unless something changes. That's why starting is so difficult. It's not because you're incapable. It's because breaking inertia takes energy. It takes just enough effort to tip the balance and start moving. But once you do, momentum takes over. The problem is, we make the start feel monumental. We tell ourselves, I have to write 5,000 words, or I have to study for 5 hours, or I need to get in shape. The stakes feel massive, the mountain looks too tall. So instead of taking one small step, we freeze at the base. That's why the key to overcoming procrastination isn't some magical morning routine or productivity hack. It's this: make starting as easy and low pressure as possible. Take the smallest step you can. Make it ridiculously easy. Write one sentence. Do one push-up. Open the document. Clean for 2 minutes. One powerful method is the 2-minute rule. If the task feels too big, tell yourself you'll do it for just 2 minutes. That's it. After 2 minutes, if you want to stop, you can, but you probably won't. Because starting builds momentum, and momentum is magnetic. It makes the next step easier, and the next, until you're in flow. As author James Clear says in Atomic Habits, you do not rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your systems. That first 2 minutes, that small step, it's your system's foundation. It's your way of consistently beating procrastination at its own game, by making the entry point so small that resistance has no room to grow. Another quote to remember comes from Pablo Picasso. Inspiration exists, but it has to find you working. You don't need to feel ready. You don't need to wait for inspiration. You just need to begin. Poorly, clumsily, awkwardly if you must. Because once you're in motion, you'll find your rhythm. You'll surprise yourself with how much you can do once you stop focusing on all of it and just focus on one step. So whatever you've been putting off, that project, that goal, that habit, don't wait for the perfect moment. Don't wait for motivation. Just take the smallest possible action. Break inertia, build momentum, and let that carry you forward. You don't need to climb the entire staircase today. Just take the first step.